Hey, hi, hello creatives. Welcome back or to my channel. My name is Lindsay and today we are updating my reading journal. I know we're already into 2025, but I am finishing up quarter 3 in my 2024 reading journal. I will have a very quick video summarizing quarter 4. I didn't read any books that were more than 4 stars, so it's just a cover page, and that will come out very quickly, like within probably the next week. And then I am going to do a separate video for my 2025 reading journal setup. I will still be using this same journal that I have now because I do have more pages in this journal, and I want to fill it up. So my first spread that I'm doing here is for the book The Right Move by Liz Tomford. And this is also part 2 of my quarter 3. I believe I did mention that, but if you missed part 1, I will leave it linked here so that you can go check that one out as well to see some of the books that I read, some of the other spreads that I've done for the books that I read in quarter 3, because I did read a lot of books and a lot of books that I rated 4 and above stars. So yeah, super exciting and very happy with how quarter 3 turned out and how many books I read. And thankfully I did, because I did reach my reading goal. But again, I didn't read too many books in the last quarter of 2024, but it is what it is. My son went back to school went to school, and my daughter turned 1, and then of course the holidays, and it's just very busy the last couple of months of the year. So, but anyways, talking about the spread that I'm currently doing, if you haven't seen any of my previous reading journal videos, my reading journal includes spreads that for books that I rate 4 and above stars. Sometimes I'll do a spread for a book that I rated maybe 3.5, 3.75. I mean, I haven't done anybody that's 3.75 yet, but maybe 3.5 if I liked the vibe of the book and I want to just kind of do a collage on it, then I can decide to do a collage on it. But for the most part, it's 4 stars and above. And I suck at writing. I didn't love English in school. I was more of a math girly, and I can't properly articulate my feelings or even remember exactly everything that happens or how I felt or anything while I was reading the book. So that's why I don't do spreads that, write out all of my thoughts and feelings of the book, especially because I also don't journal about the book right after I read it. It's, sometimes a month or 2 after I've read it. Sometimes it's 4 months after I read it. And I don't remember what happens. Like, I really don't. I struggle even to remember the main characters' names. And there's a few books, obviously, where I remember stuff that happened in the book. And not to say that I liked that book more than others. I think it's really just, I don't know if it's memorable, and maybe that's what I need to consider, is if it's something that I remember. I don't know. Probably not, because I'm a mood reader and I rate the books how I feel after I've read them. And then, because generally speaking, I update my Goodreads and Bookmory, the 2 apps that I use like right away. So yeah, and I use Storygraph as well, but I update them pretty quickly after I've read the book to give my accurate star rating. But sometimes, there's more things that you remember for certain books and more things that you remember for other books and less for other books. It is what it is. So that's why you see here that my spreads for the books that I read are all pictures. I don't imagine I'm going to include any writing in future spreads because, again, that's not my thing. But it's crazy. I think when I do these spreads as well, I try, even though it's difficult, I try to arrange the photos to the best of my knowledge in order, but still balancing colors and such so that it, looks pretty, obviously. But I try to, or if it's like pictures of the couple together, maybe I put it on the right side because it's more towards the end of the book. I try to organize the photos and tell the story through the photos, essentially. It doesn't always work, and I could be very wrong in some of them because, again, it's based on my lacking memory when it comes to the books that I've read, but I still try to do that anyways, because again, it kind of tells the story while I'm looking at the pictures and while I'm looking at the pictures. And I just, I enjoy trying to do that. And that also, triggers my memory of like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. And I feel like I've mentioned before, I do a lot of audiobooks, so it's really hard to write anything down as I'm reading, but maybe because I normally drive and listen to the audiobooks at the same time, but maybe when I stop to my destination or whatever, I make some quick notes, because I think you'll see in one of the spreads at the last spread that I do in this video, I kind of had to pull photos myself because it's more of like a smaller book. It's not a popular book talk book. So there wasn't too many things on Pinterest already about it, because for all of these photos, I go to Pinterest. I'll leave my board linked below so you can see all of these photos if you want to, use them for your own journals. But I generally go to Pinterest and search the book, whether I put like the book. So now I'm working on, what one am I working on now? I am working on Caught Up by Liz Tomford, and The Right Move I read in 2 days, and I rated it 5 stars. I absolutely loved that book so much, so much. I think it's honestly my favorite of the series, and then Play Along, the newest book that's come out. But currently I'm doing Caught Up, and I rated this one 4.5 stars, and I read this in about 7 days. And what was I saying before when I interrupted myself with something? I don't remember. I was talking about the photos and such. And what else did I say? I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah, so I use all of my Pinterest photos, and that's right. I search normally the book title, so Caught Up Aesthetic or Caught Up by Liz Tomford, and there's tons of pictures that show up. And sometimes I choose too many pictures, sometimes I choose not enough pictures, but for the most part, I pick too many. And I was literally just thinking about right before I started recording this video is, I'm very happy that I still have this notebook for 2025 reading journal, because I was, thinking even further ahead and being like, what would I use for my next reading journal if I decided not to use this one or what have you? But I need to use a B5 size for my reading journal. And I think that I'm going to stick with that because of the pictures I choose a lot of them. And as you can tell by, I'm on the second spread now, and it's like littered with pictures. I would not have enough room on an A5 size. And because I choose so many pictures, I don't want them to be printed so small, because then you're not even going to be able to see what they are, and that would be annoying. So yeah, I definitely have to, I think B5 for my reading journal is the size that I need to stick with. I think A5 would just be way too small. And again, because I don't write on my spreads, I use the photos. And but so this is Caught Up, and I'm very, very pleased with my, what is this lettering called? It's cursive, but not cursive. My lettering. What's the word? What's the word that I'm looking for? My calligraphy. There we go. My calligraphy and my handwriting for this title, I was very impressed with. I was very happy with how it looked and how it turned out. I think it's a little wibbly wobbly because even though there's dots on the pages and I can very easily follow the dots, I don't look at them. I don't know why, but I just don't look at them. The only time I look at the dots is when I'm putting on a picture to try and make the picture straight. And sometimes that doesn't even work because I cut out the pictures with scissors, and sometimes my own cut is wonky. So can't even trust that. But no, I was really happy with how this title came out nonetheless. And I choose, and then for the stickers and such that I choose for the spread that I'm doing, I like to try and match the stickers a little bit to what the book was about. And like the colorings, I know it's not necessary. I know it's Mochi Bujo does not, and that's super fun. But because I don't remember the book and because I don't write anything, I like to do as much of the decoration as I can to match the book. And sometimes like it just has to be a little bit related. It doesn't have to be like exact or anything like that. And I don't match the colors of the spreads that I'm doing to like the title or anything because I have a lot of stickers, but I also don't go out every time I read a book and find stickers or buy stickers that match completely. And if I did that, then I would never use my stash. So I like to kind of pick the stickers out and then match the colors of the text and stuff in the title to the pictures that I've chosen. And, to the stickers that I've chosen. And I, again, try to pick the stickers based on what the book's about, but also matching the colors of the stickers because I like for it all to kind of look pretty, obviously, because that's what I'm doing. I'm making these pages look pretty, but at the same time, I'm, making a spread about the book. And it's just, again, to kind of trigger my memory about what's it about. But so I finished Caught Up. Again, I rated it 4.5 stars and read it in about 7 days. And now moving on to the next spread, I'm already, partially finished. I always rearrange my photos first, which are the largest things on the spread. And then I stick everything down, fill things in with some stickers. But I've been starting to do the title right after I put down the photos. But as I'm arranging the photos, I already as I start to lay them down, I try to figure out, okay, where do I want to put the title? So I can kind of see how I want to sort the photos. You can see previously on Caught Up, I put all the photos along the bottom because I had a lot of them and then put Caught Up, the title, at the top. And then as I started to rearrange these photos, I didn't have too many, and they kind of worked to do in a circle. I've done this before, I think in part 1, in some of those spreads I did the title in the middle, and I really like it. Also, the right move, the first spread I did, I also did the title in the middle, but this novel is Yours Truly. I also used these, I think they're supposed to be like tab stickers, these green and gray stickers. They're supposed to be, I think they're meant to like fold over and be a tab because they kind of have like a weird little divot in the middle. But I use them as kind of like background and like little bits of like filler stickers, and I love it. I love how this worked out. So I definitely feel like I almost want to make my own stickers that are like this, that are just kind of like shapes to use as background, similar to like what people use as washi tape, and I've used as washi tape to kind of put it in the background. But the sticker in like the little rectangle is just much easier to work with, in my opinion, than the washi tape. So I really like how that all looks with the photos. And then this is Yours Truly. I started to write out the Y in a color green, but that green was dying and drying out, which is very sad. I hate when markers start to dry out, but so I wrote down the Yours Truly. And actually, I think for this one or Mile High, I think it was for Mile High in part 1, I tried to match the title in a similar font to what the title is, like how it is on the book. And I kind of like that challenge to try and broaden my font stuff. I suck at fonts and trying to do different fonts to, think of and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's fun to try and match the font on the book. And, obviously within reason and, as much as I want to or don't want to, but I think it's just a fun little thing that even if they're not in the same colors as the front of the book, I can still, have like a feel of the book on the spread. So I really like that. So I did Yours Truly all in capital letters, similar to how it is on the front page. And I really like this one. I like how I did the squigglies. I feel like I really have to add more like doodles and stuff to my spreads, and, to add more personal creativity than just, stickers and washi tape and the photos and that kind of stuff. I'm really enjoying making it a little bit more doodly, and I felt like it just made this spread look a little bit more fun. But you see, if you saw me flip back to the back of the page, I have a Four Bears sticker subscription, and I'm also one of their ambassadors. I will leave links down below for some discount codes, 20% off of single sticker sheets and a 10% discount off of your first subscription. And on all of their sticker sheets, they have a little bear, whether it is the actual bear of their like logo or it is just Four Bears as the name. And I always put, once I finish a sticker sheet, I put that bear on the back of the journal that I'm using. I did it in my Hobonichi for last year, and I'm doing it in this journal. I do it in my junk journal, in my any journal that I am using where I finish a sticker sheet, I then put the bear on the back of that journal. And I think it's just fun to know that I'm using my stickers. I'm able to see how many sticker sheets I use for that journal, and I think it's just kind of super fun. So that's what I did on the back there. This one's not super filled out because mostly when I do my book spreads, I use like stickers that I got off of Temu, just because they're not characters, and I find that I'm able to, some of them are just more broad. Like I have a lot more like floral stickers from Temu and stuff, where the Four Bear sticker subscription, it is kind of themed. Each month is themed a little bit. So I really enjoy kind of using those sticker sheets and stuff, and then especially putting that stuff on the back of the journals. So moving on to the one that I'm doing now. I wonder if I can look to see which one I'm doing. I think it's the play along. Yeah, it's play along. And I really enjoyed this one. I think one of my top tropes would have to be marriage of convenience, and just, kind of like fake marriage and them like falling in love with each other while they're married. I just think that's so fun. And I really liked these folks' banter. And I love also when the male main character falls for the girl first. I think that's always super fun. And it's just, So I really like the tropes that are in this book. And I also really like Liz Tomford's writing and her writing style. I also enjoy that I listen to these books as audiobooks. I normally listen to my books on 1.4, 1.5 times speed. I find that that's a good speed before the voices go a little funny and squeaky. I find that they're still kind of relatively their voice, or like of the narrators and stuff. So I normally read it a little bit quicker, and because I, read it on higher than just 1 time speed. But I'm very happy that I listened to them, because these are long books. These are long ass books, and they would have taken me, a long time to finish, because I'm a slow reader. So, but apparently I can listen to a book pretty fast, but reading it myself, I'm pretty slow, especially because I have to sometimes read the paragraph once or twice over, because my brain wanders, or I visualize what I'm reading and then my brain wanders from that image. It's crazy. But so, play along. I did tried to match the font to the title of the page, as I mentioned. I did not leave myself enough room. As you can see, I wrote the G on top of the photo, but it doesn't bother me one bit. And I chose to use stickers, even though they're like spa style stickers, it's still related a little bit to, what's happening in the book, because she is the team. What are these names? These names are Kennedy and Isaiah. And Kennedy is she's like a physical therapist, I think, for the baseball team that Isaiah plays for. And so again, although it's not like spa related, it's still similar and gave off that same feel. So that's why I decided to use those stickers and just added in some stars and stuff from those pencils. Why I use the pencils, not 100% sure, but it kind of matched. And because I use them because she goes to school. She's studying to pass some sort of exam. I don't remember, but she's going to school. So that's why I use the pencils and stuff. And they also matched a little bit with the colorings. And then so moving on to the spread that I'm currently working on, I decided not to add a title to this because I have that photo in the top left of the characters drawn by a fan art that I found on Pinterest. And this is 1,000 Broken Pieces. And this was such a beautiful story. This is the second book in the, I don't know, do they call it the Poppy series? I don't know what's the series they call it. But this is about Savannah and Kale. And Savannah is Poppy's sister from the first book. What's the first one called? 1,000 Kisses? No, 1,000. Yeah, I think 1,000 Kisses. Something like that. I can't remember. But 1,000 Kisses. I feel like there's another word in there. But anyways, so this is the second book in the series, and I'd say you don't have to read one versus the other, but you do. I feel like they're not standalones. They are one where you want to read the first one first and then the second one obviously after. And but I really liked this one is when I really tried to put the photos in more of like order of kind of when they happened, but then again still trying to balance out colors and stuff. So it's not 100% obviously, but I did really try. And I also added scrapbook paper on this one that I normally don't. And I don't know why. I have tons of scrapbook paper and I'm trying to use them up in my bullet journal. My money bullet journal is what it's turned into now. But my bullet journal, I've been using scrapbook paper in my monthly themes because I'm trying to use up a lot of the scrapbook paper that I have. And I don't know why I don't put it in my reading journal. I don't know. Especially because like in the Mile High, the first spread I did in this video, I used the scrapbook paper, the same one that I'm actually using in this spread, I used as background for the title. But I don't know why it's taken me this long to use scrapbook paper, but again, really liking it. And I, of course, found that after I finished my spreads, because I had everything all printed out and I thought because I had all of these photos sorted on like the printer paper when I printed them off on sticker paper, I tried to see here on the top page there, there was like 4 or 5 photos at the top and they were separated by a little bit of a space because when I go to the next book, I like to leave a little bit of space so I know that it's the next book. And I failed to realize that there was like 4 or 5 photos on the next page. Anyways, okay, what I'm trying to say is there's photos that I had printed out that I was supposed to put in the 1,000 Broken Pieces spread, but I didn't have them printed out or I didn't have them cut out and with that page. So I missed them, but I do go in after off camera and add them in. And I don't care that I went over a couple of the photos, but I still wanted to add them in because obviously I printed them off and it helps tell the little bit of the story. But moving on to my very last spread, this is the spread that I kind of had to think about, okay, what happened in the book? Why, what can I kind of pull to make it so that it kind of tells the story? Because again, there wasn't much on Pinterest already about this book because it's an Audible only book. It's called Sweet Talk. And who is it by? I don't even know, to be honest. I wonder where my phone is, if I can find it while I'm chatting. So it's called Sweet Talk and it's an Audible only book. And it's by Cara Bastone, I think. And I really enjoy her or Audible like only books, I find that they are like, they're very quick. They're like 4 or 5 hours long, and they're just cute. They are obviously like end really quickly and abruptly. There's a few of them that I read that I didn't love the ending. This one I feel is didn't love the ending on this one, but it was still super entertaining and like had me hooked like the whole time, except I just found the ending a little unbelievable for someone to get over something so quickly. And if you decide to read it, I won't ruin anything, just in case you are interested, again, because if you do have an Audible subscription, it is included, so it doesn't take one of your credits. And I still rated it 4 stars. It was still like very entertaining, and I read it in a day. So like obviously it had me hooked to enough to just want to keep reading until it was over. But the ending is just a little off for me, but did really enjoy it. But I pulled out all of these photos based on what I knew the book was about, and I was very happy with myself that I remembered enough to come up with an entire page of photos. But we're at the end of this video, so I want to thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I hope you really enjoy all of these spreads. I'm showing you the ones from part 1 as well, and the ones that you're seeing now, or that I created with you right now in this video. But I want to thank you so much. If you made it this far, I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the things. It means so much to me and helps this channel grow. And I'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye.